And it's who should the Detroit Lions sign in free agency? Who should they bring in? There's some names out there. Lions got money. And there's some positions of need, right? It just depends on what your number one position is. I think universally it should be corner. I don't think it should be a debate. And then after that, we can have a conversation. But guys, and you know what, Lucas, I'll start with you because this is like your forte, and then we'll go around. But give me a free agent, throw one out there that you think would be perfect for the Detroit Lions.
My number one free agent, just because I think I'm putting into account like realistically that it'll happen. If it's Stephon Gilmore for me, just because I've talked about it numerous times in Dallas. I think he was the better cover corner between him and Deron Bland. Deron Bland made a ton of pick sixes, but he also gave up a ton of yardage. What does that tell you? He's getting a ton of targets. Now he makes plays out of those, but there's a reason they're always going to his side and not Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is a veteran. I understand he's not in his prime, but he was a top 10 corner in this league. And when you talk about going into a DB room with a lot of younger players, I'm assuming they'll try to get one in the draft, whether it's early in the draft or the later end. Stephon Gilmore would be the most realistic number one to me. If we weren't being realistic, I would say, to your point, Jeff, L'Jarius Sneed, but I don't think there's a way that the Chiefs let him walk.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I'll just say my pick. I think it's an easy decision. This is a layup, to be honest with you. A reunion. Jeff Okudah. Bring us home.
Relax. I'm not gonna lie to you. When Lucas said corner, and I have the free agent tracker up, towards the top of the list, I just saw Jeff Okudah, and I was like, there is no way. Like, imagine that if that happened.
So I do. I like Stephen Gilmore because he's still playing at a high level.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. He'd be with his brother too,
and he'd be with his brother. I think for me, number one free agent. What?
He's Steven and Stephon.
Yeah.
Like they're two different people. You said Steven, and we already have Stephen Gilmore.
He does it all the time. It's fine.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. I was like, I swear
you
we
said
already
Stephen
have
Gilmore instead of Stephon Gilmore, Jeff. It's okay. It's a human mistake.
Well, no, I think I was mentioning that we have is Stephen Gilmore. That's who the Lions have, right? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Regardless, all right, whatever. Booner, he would be the only one in there.
Dude, you said the wrong name, so I just wanted to clarify. Like, it just threw me off. Like, you said Steven, and I was like, wait, we already have Steven.
Okay,
we're good.
Anyway,
let's move on. I want to hear yours.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about. Okay, regardless, thank you, Booner, for that.
You're welcome.
For me, I think that if you're going to bring in a free agent, the biggest one out there, and this has been a guy that I've been kind of simping for. I'm not gonna lie to you, Justin Matabuke.
Love it.
Yep.
Imagine the difference. Like you got a Lee McNeil who's got a pass rush upside, right? And he's a great run defender. And then you put next to him another guy who I think Justin Matabuke's measurements, he's 6'3", 300 pounds. He's had a
Big
sack,
boy.
I believe, 80-90% of the games. I think he might have went one game without a sack.
In 11 straight games, I'm pretty sure. 10 or 11 straight games.
Yes, at least a half a sack or more, whatever it is. So this man, we talk about Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, he needs help. He needs help. Imagine the interior pressure that Aleem McNeil and Justin Matabuke could pressure from the interior. And then you're allowing a guy like Aiden Hutchinson just to clean the play up. And if you go draft an edge rusher, there you go. Now you're talking about putting this defensive line up with some of the best in the NFL, which is where the Lions should strive to get to. Yeah, corner is important, but if you're not getting a consistent pass rush, I mean, this year you got a pass rush out of some of your safeties, some DBs, obviously some of the linebackers, Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell. But if you got a guy like Justin Matabuke, he makes everybody around him better, and you're adding a guy to one of the best run defenses already, and he's got amazing pass rush upside with what he's doing out there. And, of course, Big John just adding in, he's got amazing hand-fighting skills. Like, he will create havoc up front. So that's my number one if we're talking about who the Lions should bring in. He's going to be expensive, though.
Yeah, that'd be worth it. But
how much?
Jeff, real quick, Booner, it's because it'll be 2 seconds. Like Brock Purdy running in the red zone last week, that is the exact type of plays that he would take away from the mobile quarterbacks. That when the Lions, they have everything done in the secondary for once in their life, and the quarterback finds a way to create a play with his feet, those get eliminated if you had a guy like that.
Absolutely.
I was going to go. All right, wait, Booner, you going?
Who are you going to say?
Well, Jeff kind of took mine, so I switched it up a little bit. I'm going to go corner in Jalen Johnson.
Love it. No, I love it. I saw that a couple days ago, and it popped in my head, Gentry, and I was like, I love that.
Yeah, and
Love that.
obviously Cam Sutton had his bad weeks down the stretch, but Cam was pretty locked down for most of the year. So if you can move him to cornerback 2 and then you move Jalen into the quarterback 1, take some relief off of Cam, let him bounce back early in the season, I could see that. But obviously you need to adjust the edge rushers, and like I just don't like the price tag that you would have to pay for a lot of these guys. I would rather trust in Brad Holmes to kind of finagle that position. Obviously, that is the main concern. You have to get to the quarterback next year, but I just don't like the price tag that you're going to have to offer for a lot of these guys. So I'm going Jalen Johnson, man. You need a lockdown corner, and if you can move Cam Sutton to cornerback 2, I think that's going to be huge for this defense. And I don't know if I trust drafting another rookie or whatever and just throwing him out to the wolves.
I like that too.
That's my whole point of why I said Stephon Gilmore, because you can draft, especially where the Lions are picking the 29th overall pick. When you see just a stud corner come out in the first round, if anything, after those top 10 picks, the guys that are the second, third, fourth, late round picks are the ones that kind of show up. You rarely see a guy late in the first round develop quickly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you need to address the corner position. And I love Mosley. Obviously, we didn't get to see him very much at all. But like, you can't sign another injury-prone guy like that. You need to get a secure corner that's going to be out there week 1, making his impact known. So I'm going Jalen.
What about you, Boone?
Love it. I want to ask mine as a question to see where you guys stand on this one.
Okay.
I saw it in the chat a couple times already from a few people. It's going to be a lot of money, and I'm kind of convinced, to be honest, that Brad's going to make a big splash. This guy was in trade, like conversations for trade, but Danielle Hunter from Minnesota, he's not going to be back in Minnesota this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in Detroit on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Had 16 and a half sacks. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. I just think, and I've been pretty locked down on this, that putting another elite pass rusher, and Jeff, this is the conversation we've had all year, putting another elite pass rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, it changes the whole defense. It changes the whole defense, and it makes you one of the best in the league. And even if you don't end up getting a big-time corner and you do have to draft one, I'm almost on the side to where if you get a guy like Danielle Hunter to match up with or to pair up with Aiden Hutchinson, you can take the risk of getting a rookie and re-signing Emmanuel Mosley and going that route, because you're going to get so much pressure on the quarterback. Like that right there, if you want to talk about like making an impact and making like a statement on defense of a signing, I think Danielle Hunter should be number 1 there. And it might be, and it could be crazy to me, and like it could be like it's not going to happen. But if you're Brad Holmes and you want to make a statement around the NFL, you get a Danielle Hunter on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, and you make that defensive line the best in the league, and then you go find a corner or a cheaper corner and then draft a corner and go from there. But Danielle Hunter with Aiden Hutchinson would be the best duel in the NFL, and it wouldn't be close, and they would dominate.
Yeah,
that would be terrible.
And I know all of you guys would spend that money too.
I definitely would. I just don't know if Brad's going to do it, and that's kind of why I steered away from that.
What about?
I would be absolutely happy with that.
What about a more cost-effective option? At least I would think. I don't know. But at 31, almost and a half years old, what about a guy who I think will want to join a contender? He did it last season. What about a Leonard Floyd?
Ooh,
10 and a half sacks this season in Buffalo, and he's at 31 and a half. That might be like more of a 1-year, 2-year deal.
They paid $7 million for him last
year. Shout out Adam.
Yeah. Shout out Adam Morsey, by the way.
Shout out Adam.
Appreciate you becoming a Crunch member. But what do you guys think? I mean, just like someone like a Leonard Floyd, or even Jonathan brings up, like a Zadarius Smith.
That's exactly who I was going to bring up. I was going to say, to your point, like Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
He played in Minnesota. He played in Green Bay. He knows what this division is all about, and he's played on teams that have won in this division. When the Minnesota Vikings won the NFC North, guess who's on their defense? Zadarius Smith. When the Green Bay Packers won the NFC North, guess who's on their defense? Zadarius Smith. Now, he does come with some injury history, but to your point, Jeff, that's going to lower the cost. This is a guy who's a physical run stopper and is able to get to the quarterback. He is an absolute tone setter, and we can say the same thing about C.J. Gardner-Johnson being a tone setter, but Zadarius Smith, I don't mind that C.J. Gardner-Johnson talks. Some people do. Zadarius Smith does not do all that talking.
To be fair, too, if we're being realistic real quick, Brad Holmes and the Danielle Hunter thing is, like Gentry said, it is out of his like character to go pay a guy like that. He has shown that he wants guys like Leonard Floyd that are like guys who you don't have to pay a ton of money. You can get them on a 1 or 2 year deal and prove it, and they'll come in here and they'll dominate. And like that's where actually, as I start to do more homework the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start looking at free agents who are in that kind of category, because that's who usually Brad Holmes goes after, and they're dudes that are going to make impacts. So I'm actually, that's a great, I like that.
Hey guys, real quick, you know who was still I at least he was still in LA when Leonard Floyd was a Ram. It was his first year, Brad Holmes.
Yeah,
Brad.
he won a
So,
Super Bowl
that's a good
when he
point.
was there. Yeah.